Brixton Island, and I run Nettle of Gloucester. We've also got an office in Cheltenham.
My name is Jamie Moeller, and I am in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio.
I'm Alan of Nettle of Stirling, up in Scotland.
And my name is John Robbins. Yes, I'm the owner of Great Impressions, which is the Nettle of Winterhaven in more or less the middle of Polk County.
Sean, and I run Nettle, actually, sorry.
I am Billy from Nettle of Cambridge.
Welcome all, I'm Ivo Bosman, Nettle Breda. Breda is a city in the south of Holland. A very nice city, so I welcome you to come over sometime.
We're located in downtown Zephyr Hills, which is not too far from Tampa, Florida.
My name is Peter van der Vorst. We are Nettle Zeist. We are located in the center of the Netherlands.
Joined Nettle right in the very early days, so it was 2015, and Nettle had made some of their own stores, and we're looking to sort of get on board with some new partners. We'd had a background of working with the guys behind Nettle and saw the new format that was more web heavy and liked it, and so yeah, jumped on board early days 2015, and we added a second studio in about 18 months later, so 2016.
Well, I last year in 2019 started my own marketing business, J Media, and it was really later in 2019 that actually it was a friend of ours actually introduced us to Nettle. And once I learned more about it, I thought, this is something that really makes sense for my business on what I could see, because I have been a marketer my whole life, and in marketing and helping businesses in one way, shape, or form with that. And I thought, wow, this seems like it would be a perfect add-on for my business. And it really ended up, once we explored and checked it out, to be a perfect complement to my social media focus to be able to expand my offerings.
Mainly, there are three main reasons we joined the Nettle network. And then the first one is the possibility of selling easy websites as additional product for our direct mail solutions. We are mainly busy in the direct mail, but maybe later on we can talk about it. And the second reason was to be we were interested in the special products from signing and print you can supply, but also a very important reason was be part of the Nettle network in the Benelux, especially for us because we are located in the Netherlands.
We were a traditional creative business. We designed things, we printed things, and we came out of the traditional background of print and design. But in the 2000s, as the new century arrived, we found that the web designer was the first port of call rather than the graphic designer.
Sat on the high street, a normal sort of design studio. We were doing a bit of web and sort of print through the Nettle group as well. But I guess we had the same problems that a lot of web studios have. As customers were coming in, we were having to solve their problems, afresh each time. Thinking, I'm sure, a hairdresser the other side of the country has had the same problem. And so we're ticking along, but I'd also recently had the problem before jumping on board with Nettle that my web developer had up and left. And then we're sort of trying to unpick and unravel the sort of work that web developer had done and try and get our heads around that, really.
Clients are coming to us basically saying, we like our website, but we now need it to be our shopfront. We now need it to replace our physical premises and to sell online. So yeah, and if they do have a website, I guess they're approaching us now they now see the value in SEO because the website needs to work harder.
And I think that's also a good thing of Nettle, this Nettle Academy, that you will really find a lot of people with a lot of knowledge, and you can share this knowledge. And that's, I think, the best of Nettle, the sharing, the networking, and all the capabilities that everyone has, that you can make use of that, and that's perfect.
We took over a small high street print shop about a year ago, and we took it over recognizing that it was a declining business for two reasons. One, the existing partners had to some extent let it go, so it was slightly in decline, but also that high street printing is also slightly in decline. More and more companies are using digital means of communications and they need less print. Not to say that print was going out, but clearly it made it a lot more difficult for smaller companies to run a reasonable infrastructure and pay the overhead if you're in a market where there's declining revenue. Taking it over, we'd already identified that we were going to add in services that my wife and I already knew. So in addition to design, we also had photography, we also had videography under our belt, and digital was something that was of great interest to us. But the challenge with digital really came down to the fact that it's potentially in need of a degree of infrastructure to make that work. Designing a website is one thing, and certainly we had that capability, but actually building it, hosting it, then adding features like search engine optimization, integrating that with things like Google Ads or other forms of social media activity, and suddenly a small high street print shop doesn't really have the sort of resources in-house to make that work.
We used to have a sort of a hardcore techie web developer in the studio with us, but we don't need that person anymore because we can access that sort of level of skill through the Nettle Geeks channel. They're there sort of just as and when we need them.
Well, Nettle was not well known to me, but when I saw what it stood for, I thought, well, this is something I could really use. It's a network of people with the same intention to make design tangible to other people, to make it more open, to help people to get design and to have print and web and sign and all the things that people need to communicate their businesses, have it in place. And also the infrastructure and the tools and the workflow and all the things that are basically the standard of what Nettle offers is really helpful also for me to start up and to have my business out there.
As a print company or a ex-high street print company, our priority is absolutely increase our digital client base. Repeat revenue, monthly contract revenue, all things that are not easy to achieve with print, are things that we can achieve with digital, with Nettle.
There was a reduction in revenue from creative, there was a reduction in print volumes, but we were also getting clients who were arriving wanting things printed that had been designed by web designers, which were totally unprintable.
Yeah, I mean, I think having the confidence of another string to our bow from a revenue point of view is undoubtedly been a big bonus. We could have done this on our own, but the cost implication, both in terms of staff and support, potentially would have been a lot higher. So, having the geek team behind Nettle that we can have access to is useful. Having the consultants and trainers available to us really makes a huge difference. We could have hired an individual web developer and hired that person and sort of made it on our own. But I would say that the complete package that comes with Nettle makes a huge difference and really makes us work and behave and service clients as a big operation, even though technically we're a small operation. So that's the biggest benefit.
So I joined Nettle 4 years ago and transitioned from a printing.com. So I had a home studio specialising just in print and design, but made the full move over to web. So.
Through scary times where everybody is on isolation, etc., it does make you feel that you're not on your own as a business owner, that you've got the network of other studios all going through the same thing, and we see those on the drop-in calls, and so we can kind of share ideas and see what's working, and it's helpful as a business owner to have that support, really.
Enjoy being a little part, I have to say. I feel part of something. I like that support there if you need it. I think I feel a bit part of something bigger. It's like working for a larger company, but not. So, and I've done both in my time. So, I've enjoyed it, and yeah.
Being a Nettle partners help because you have the sense of community. You have the W3 pin, for people that don't know that, it's like an online community and forum. So you get to see what everyone else is asking, what everyone else is doing, and people offer advice on what's worked for them. And it's just the whole support mechanism that goes with that is just invaluable again, you know. So
it's just particularly with the printers around the town, a lot of them have either closed because they furloughed staff. That's probably the most case, and obviously with the Nettle franchise, it's a bit of a different setup. So I think that's provided some opportunities for the group, I'd say, you know, going forward, that we do with more advisory rather than we could do your business cards, you know. So yeah.
And the fact that, you know, it's a big company that can evolve to the situation. So in the situation we're in, they're able to adapt and bring out new products. It's just brilliant, you know.
And when we approached, it worked nicely, and it's helped us develop clients in a particular way. And also, we've gained back all of the creative business as well. So that was the reason that we joined, and it's been successful.
Why did we join Nettle? Well, Jake, my brother, wanted to get into web design and SEO. Due to his age, he thought this was fresh and funky. But me, as the business owner, I wanted to add value. Having the geeks and necessary training and support behind us, I knew that this was the right decision. Jake, he thought this was sick.
I think that, honestly, I'd have to sum it up as value for money. I think when you look at what you get out of Nettle and what it allows you to offer your clients and your customers pretty much effortlessly, you know, the knowledge base and the support, relative to what it costs, I would say it's an exceptional value for money deal.